Last news story here comes to us from VGC, written by someone over there. Tom Ivan. There it is. Online play for Wii U and 3DS will shut down on Monday. That is today.
Oh, no, you're supposed to keep reading while I did that.
Oh, I thought it was like a moment of silence, kind of. Nintendo will be shutting down online play for 3DS and Wii U early next week. Nintendo already closed the eShops for both systems back in March 2023, but players have been able to continue using online services in games such as online multiplayer and rankings. Once this ends next week, however, games will only be playable offline. This will particularly impact games with heavy emphasis on online play, such as the original Splatoon on Wii U. Players will still be able to play games offline once online services end, according to Nintendo. It has also that doesn't work. Pokemon Bank and Poke Transporter will retain online functionality, presumably since they're still used by players and use online connectivity as their central mechanic. Nintendo has also stressed that this only relates to in-game online functionality, meaning it will still be possible to download update data and re-download purchased software and DLC from the 3DS and Wii U shops for the foreseeable future. Okay. Closure of the Wii U and 3DS eShops last year effectively made around 1,000 digital-only eShop games disappear for good. In quotation marks, for good. We all know.
They disappeared all right.
It also meant the termination of the final systems to support the Virtual Console service. Now, the only retro games provided by Nintendo are the ones available on Switch Online's various apps. Rest in peace, online play for Wii U and 3DS.
Oh boy, this is such a heartbreaker. You know, how should I put this? This is multifaceted, right? I understand, you know, in time, you do have to move on. I get it. You know, old, how should I say, old stores and old servers, they become outdated, they become less secure. They're more of a hassle to upkeep. They cost a lot more, you know, in the long run over time. So I understand that aspect of it, right? But knowing that was going to happen because they've done it before for the Wii, I feel like they should have put more effort into researching something or some method to make a more modular store or a more modular way to hook servers into this so that, you know, in time, like for the Switch, right? You know, it's already 7 years old. So I say they're probably going to start shutting stuff down in the next 5 years or so, right? That's usually around what time they normally do it. Mm-hmm. They should have like I don't know how to put it, like almost like a legacy server farm somewhere, right, where they unplug from the fancy expensive one that they are currently using and then plug in access to their legacy server where you can still play online. You know, it might be a little crappier because it's not as premium and forward facing because they want to push the new thing, but at least you still have access to online and you can play games or something like that. I don't know. I just feel like there's ways to do that they really didn't even, I'm not gonna say they didn't look into because I don't know what they do. Yeah. And again, they are a multi-billion-dollar company, which tells me that they're not stupid. So I'm sure they looked down this avenue and maybe it just wasn't feasible. But yeah, I don't know. There's got to be something we could do because this can't keep happening.
Yeah, I wonder if like, I don't know. I don't have a ton of hope because they don't have a great track record. But I do, there's a little bit of me, it's like, I hope this means that we'll get, and unfortunately it's probably, that's the thing, it's a double-edged sword, because what I'm about to say, I'm like, oh man, I hope that means like we start seeing things like some of these things added to the Nintendo Switch, like kind of like how they have right now the classic console collections or whatever. Like you can play NES, you can play, it's like, all right, okay, cool. Like with Switch 2 coming out next year, like now's your chance to add GameCube and add Wii and Wii U and add like some of these like the newer retro consoles kind of thing, you know, or not classic consoles or whatever they want to call them, the new generation of the classic consoles, and give us access that way. But what's realistically going to happen is like they're just going to continue to keep porting things and charging you more money for it. And it's like that's the sad truth, is like they just want more opportunities to make money so they can easily port things to new consoles. Even though you own it for the old one, they're going to be like, nah, here, buy it on the new one, and you can play online now. You gotta spend $60 for this game. And it's like, well, that sucks.
Thanks. I love it.
But I don't know. That's my hope and dream, is like, all right, we've gotten from NES all the way up to Game Boy Advance on Switch. Now with Switch 2 coming out next year, it's like, all right, here's their chance to wrap up the rest of their slate with like, give us the GameCube Virtual Console, give us a WiiU, 3D, give us a DS, 3DS, all those classic consoles. But we'll see. We'll see what happens over there.
No, I agree. I honestly, it's if I had a chance to run the show, I feel like it would. I would have every Nintendo published game on that service. Right, the games that we published are going to be there. You know, I don't care if we had to pay somebody to do it or pay somebody for the rights to blah, 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 whatever. Figure it out. Because if this is our preservation, if this is our history, then we should put everything that we made on there for people to access, right? 100%. That was the whole point of Virtual Console, is to be a virtual console, a virtual version of our old stuff that you can go back and play.
Hey, we don't want you to pirate things. Awesome. We don't want you to pirate things, so we're going to offer it for sale here. And everyone said, right, okay, cool. Like, that's great. You know, like, I don't understand why Nintendo's, well, I think Nintendo Switch Online was a dumb name to call the service anyway. They should have called it Nintendo Online as an umbrella. Yeah. And then they could have called the service that they're doing now Virtual Console, and it still would have made sense. It just would have been a Virtual Console app. Yeah. And then you can add all these little emulators that they have, all these little apps that they have clogging up your home screen could just be inside Virtual Console. That's the one that I hate the most.
Yeah, and then you can go and pick which one you want to play.
Yeah.
Why not just do it like that? Then when the new thing comes out, you know, Nintendo, whatever the next system is, you'll just say, hey, Nintendo Online is going to be on that. Yep. Done. But now you call it Nintendo Switch Online, so that tells me now you can only call systems Nintendo Switch from now on.
And when they stop,
unless you're going to,
you know, you only have a few years before they're phasing it out, and then you can't get your games anymore again. It's like, no, all my digital games are gone.
I don't know, man.
It's sad. I mean, it's like one of those things like, all right, we knew the time was coming eventually. Like it does with everything. Like they're not the only ones. Xbox does it, PlayStation does it, but it's still just, I don't know, for some of those games, like there's still such a huge audience for it. It's like, at least, especially on 3DS, like 3DS is still very popular.
Booming.
But,
I mean, I've seen, just before we go.
Yeah.
I've seen, articles online that people are already starting up their own servers. I think it's called Pretendo or something like that, where basically you have to modify your hardware, but it's some software that they put on there where basically you get a brand new friend code and they redirect all your network traffic that Nintendo would usually have you to go to that server.
Okay.
And it makes it feel as though you are just hopping online. Like there's no weird software or anything, or no, like, I have to go in and put in the hacker code. It's like, no, it just takes your antenna, for lack of a better term, takes it from Nintendo and turns it over to Pretendo servers.
Right.
And then it just plays just like it always did. And if that's the case, I am 100% signing up for that.
As long as it's safe and secure and they're not going to steal my information, yeah, that sounds great. You know,
what information do you have on your 3DS? Your name?
You'd be surprised. That's where I keep a list of all my social security numbers for my family. Just kidding.
You keep it folded up in the 3DS, like there's a little slip of paper.
No, in the Notes app on 3DS, I have in the Picto Chat.
I used to love that little Notes app. I would write all my little my Animal Crossing villagers' birthdays in there so I could keep track of them.
That's awesome. Oh man, yeah. Rest in peace. Online services. Another one bites the dust.
You did good, kid. You did good.
You did. You done good.
Thank you so much for watching that clip from our podcast. Remember, if you want to watch the whole episode, the full episode, link will be in the description below. You can click on that and check it out. We got listener questions. We got more news segments. We got what you playing. We got a lot of fun things. So yeah, more than just the news. There's a lot more to the show that you should go check out. So remember, click that link in the description. Check out that full episode.